Are you listening now?
My name is Jo Elvin and I'm an editor, a broadcaster, until recently a charity CEO. Just sort of like a bit of everything, really. Well, I think that probably my most unstoppable story is that I got on a plane when I was 21, all wide-eyed, and I don't know. I don't know if it's brave or stupid. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just wanted to come to London and see if I could possibly have a career over here. And when I look back, I think, wow, that was so brave. But at the time, I just thought, I'm just going to get on a plane and see what happens. Well, I managed to worm my way into a magazine career. I'd been working in pubs and waitressing like all Aussie backpackers do. I think at one point I was earning £100 a week. I didn't have anything like a typewriter back in the day or a computer. I was handwriting all my application letters. It took me 8 months to get a job, and I got a job as the deputy editor of TV Hits magazine, which meant I spent a lot of time with Take That when they were like a massive fivesome. And it also meant I cleaned the toilet and I made the tea and I did all sorts of things because I was called deputy editor, but I think I got the job because I was willing to take the very low salary at the time. And there was a team of about 5 of us. I think probably one of my biggest challenges was when I got made redundant in 2017 from Glamour magazine. I think most people know me from Glamour magazine, and certainly because I'd been there for 17 years, I definitely saw it as pretty much my whole identity as well. So to have to move on from that, I knew it would happen one day, but it was still a bit of a hit to the solar plexus to suddenly have to figure out what was next. But I'm really glad that I went through that because it's really taught me about not fusing my whole identity to what it is that I do. What drives me? That's a really good question, and it's not an easy one for me to answer quickly. What drives me is curiosity, wanting to know what's going on in the world, wanting to know what other people in the world are doing, and just I really get excited by meeting people, having new relationships with people, and figuring out how we can be helpful to each other, whether that's in our work or our personal lives. So I think that's probably what drives me is human connection. That's the short answer. What keeps me unstoppable? Well, I don't know. Because I won't stop, I just get up, you know. It's like things like when I have been fired or when I have been made redundant or I've had setbacks, you just have to think, okay, well, this is the new reality. Let's see, this one door shuts, another one opens. So I never let the disappointments faze me. I always like to be a really living, breathing example to my daughter, who's now an adult, of just keep going, just keep going. And honestly, if you do that, keep a smile on your face and keep going and keep seeing the positive, it really does end up making things positive. The people who have inspired me are a lot of people that you wouldn't have heard of. Well, the one you would have heard of is Madonna. When I was a kid, she was the first sort of unapologetically ambitious woman who was held up as a role model. I remember her when she was very new, like not even a hit single, and being interviewed and saying things like, I'm not here for 5 minutes. I want to get my Grammys with Michael Jackson. And I remember thinking, well, that's a bit forward. That's a bit cocky. She bloody well did it. And so it kind of was a real poster girl moment for me to see her being herself in that way. My mum, I know everyone says their mum, but my mum was, product of single parent in the 60s, missed out on a lot of opportunities that I think she would have liked to have had. So she really pushed me to do exactly what I wanted to do and to empower me in that way. And then in the formative years of my career, a woman by the name of Lisa Wilkinson, who is very famous in Australia, but not here. She's now a very good friend of mine. She was the secretary who became the editor of Dolly magazine. She was from a pretty crappy area of Sydney, the same way as I was, and she was an inspiration to me when I read her magazine, and then when I worked for her, she became a mentor, and now she's a friend who's still spurring me on. I think what I would like to see unstoppable is women being freed from all forms of violence. It's something that really pains me. It's something I'm very passionate about getting involved in charity work. We see it every day in the news, and we see it from places where we should be able to trust and to feel safe with. And so that's something that makes me really angry and heartbroken. It's something I want to see an end to. What is next for me? Do you know? Look, I'm kind of, my 50s, I decided, was the period of adventure, looking at, keeping my eyes open for opportunity, trying new things. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm toying with a lot of things. I want to write more. I want to present more. I'm starting a podcast with a really good friend of mine. So my goal is to have a year of creative fulfillment and just see what comes with it, and not put too many expectations on myself in the short term. I have got so many unstoppable women in my life. My friend Donna, the Gene Queen, my friend Sarah Standing, the author and journalist, Kelly Hoppen, interior designer, force of nature. Take your pick. My contacts book is full of so many women who I just glom onto for advice and inspiration.
Are you listening now?